Help support the companies that support our community. Alright, so I'm just marking center on both ends of this piece of maple here. Grab a new pencil. And so it's about 4.5 by 4.5 and about 8.5 inches long, and we'll get it put in between centers. So this, I want to say burl, but it's got like a little bit of everything in it. Some quilting, some burl, some spalting. It's got it all. So I'm going to go ahead and use a spindle gouge, get it trued up in between centers, and get a chuck or a tenon down on it so we can grab it in the chuck. So to make the tenon, I'm using the Easy Rougher, and so we'll just get that down right diameter, get it kind of cleaned up on the bottom, and then get it mounted. And then I'll start shaping it. The lathe's running about 2,000, and I'm just shaping the top. This is going to be the top of the vase, and just kind of shaping that. And again, I'm still using the spindle gouge. So I do have that really soft spot on it too. You'll be able to see when at the top of the rim when it too. So it kind of, just from sanding and turning, there's a little bit of a dip in it. So just getting the basic shape down. I won't bring the foot down too much until after I get it hollowed out. So once I turn the lathe off, there is a little flat spot on it. So I need to turn it down a little bit more. And I had the shape I wanted, but I need to redo it a little bit. Just get the top of it rounded over a little bit more and all smoothed out. And still a little bit of a spot there, and I need to get that out because I'm not going to be able to sand that out. There we go. You can kind of see that rough spot on it too. That's where the spalting is, and it's pretty torn up there. So the top's not quite square or flat, so I'm going to take the number one hollower and get that cleaned up and just get it all true here real quick. And then we're going to use a Forstner bit to drill down into it. That will clean out a lot of the material and figure out pretty much where the bottom is. And the size of the Forstner bit, it's all going to depend on the size of the piece you're working on. So it might be bigger, it might be smaller. But I did turn the lathe speed down to about 250 and got that drilled in there. And now we can go back to the number one hollower and get this all cleaned out. Get the sides of it cleaned out. So when I'm doing this too, when I'm hollowing anything out, I pull the dust collector up the hose right there so it catches a lot of the stuff coming out of there. But once you start hollowing it back around that corner, the stuff really doesn't come out that. It kind of traps itself in there. So you need to stop the lathe every once in a while and get that out of there. And so that's why I have the hose right there. I can just hold it right up to the opening and it just will suck all the shavings out. If you just leave them in there, they'll pack them, kind of pack themselves up against the wall, and the tool won't cut anymore. So you'll notice that if there's too many of them in it. Now I'm going to go ahead and run through all the grits. I'm going to dry sand this. And the reason I'm dry sanding is because I'm going to engrave something on the side of it with the laser, and I'm not sure how it would work with the walnut oil on it, so I don't want to mess with it. Just going to do it dry, and then we'll put the oil on at the end. So now that we have it all cleaned out, sanded, we will go ahead and take the chuck off, and I'm going to go ahead and put my spur center in and my cone on that, and then a piece of the non-skid stuff. This stuff works fantastic, especially for little stuff like this. It gives it a nice grip on it so you can turn it, and I'll bring the tailstock back up and we'll get some of that foot cleaned off. I don't need to turn down all of it, but I need to get some of it out of there so I can bring the foot around and get it sanded up. So I'm just kind of getting this material out of the way. And once we have it cleaned out, I'll use the parting tool and figure out exactly where the foot is, clean that up, bring the parting tool in, and as I'm going in, I'm coming in a little bit of an angle so it cups it out a little bit so it sits nice and flat too. And then the sanding process on this is you run through all the grits again, all the way back up, and finish up with 600 doing the whole piece. Then I grabbed the parting tool again and brought that tenon down a little bit more, and then I'll cut it off by hand. There we go. And all we need to do is clean up that little nub on the bottom. So I put the sanding pad on the Jacobs chuck, and I'm just kind of using the corner of it to get rid of that little nub. And again with this, I ran through all the grits on it all the way up to 600 to get it all cleaned up. And then we're going to put it on the rotary chuck on the laser. So little rotary chuck, it locks down so you can tighten it up with one hand and then you loosen the chuck back up. So I kind of propped up a bunch of little pieces of wood over there to get it level, because if you just put the chuck in there, it wouldn't be level and it would probably burn unevenly. So after that, put in my pattern. So this is a tree of life, and the laser did a fantastic job on it. Just did the entire pattern, so I was just kind of watching it from the side, but it did a really nice job. The rotary chuck is really handy for doing stuff like this. It makes it awesome. So there it is. After it was all done, I took it off and cleaned it off with a magic eraser in the house. Just put a little bit of water on it and cleaned it off. And then we'll put the oil on. So this is Doctor's walnut oil. Just soak the whole thing down. I think I'm going to do a little test and oil something and then try and burn it and see if it affects it. If not, I can actually just like sand with the oil as I'm going instead of dry sanding and then putting it on afterwards. I like to sand with it. It really captures all that fine dust. There we go, we got it all done. So again, it is maple. It has a little bit of everything in it. It's 5 inches tall and 4 inches in diameter. And as far as the laser engraver goes, I'm still learning it. Yeah, when you use the rotary chuck, you have to, like, you know, if it's something like this, you need to bring it up just so you can get it level so it'll burn right. So I'm still playing around with it, but yeah, having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, just being able to decorate something like this. So got some ideas I'm working on too for doing inlay stuff, but it's a fun project, and it's just a beautiful piece of maple. Yeah, it's just amazing. Just a heads up, so we are going to the SWAT Symposium in Waco, Texas. So we will be gone about 2 weeks, I think. We're leaving on the 20th or 21st. So if you need to order anything from Niles, you got a couple of weeks before we're taking off. If not, we'll be gone for about 5 days and then ship orders again after that. So I'll put a link to Niles down below in the description. So if you need anything, get an order in quick. But yeah, the laser, so much fun. There's so many possibilities with it, so I'm working on some other stuff, so hopefully we'll have some more projects with that coming up soon. All right, hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care, and we'll see you next time.